What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the second video of this channel. So, this is pretty exciting news. I got a lot of views yesterday. My analytics say 70, which is crazy, but you know what? We gotta continue this trend. So, today will be my Premier League prediction, as you will see down there. So, let's start. So, for 20th place, I'm gonna put, this is actually really tough. I actually think that the 3 promoted teams this year have a really good chance of staying up, especially with the signings they're making, but it has to be one team. So I'm gonna put, actually surprisingly, Leeds at the bottom, as they've been doing well. They got Sean Longstaff recently, and honestly they could do pretty well, but I feel like Sunderland and Burnley have made better signings, which we'll get to later. So out of all the teams, ignore the Discord sound, but out of all the teams, I'm going to put Leeds at the bottom. So Leeds are going to go 20th. Next, we'll do 19th. 19th, it's actually tough. Let's put Burnley. Yeah, Burnley makes the most sense, because I'm going to have Sunderland stay up this year. And if Sunderland stay up, then that means only 2. Because while the promoted teams are good, it just feels like the Premier League teams keep catching up. So if one team had to stay, it'll probably be one team. And let's talk about Burnley first. So Burnley, they've signed Kyle Walker, and they signed a lot of good players. But to be honest, I just don't have a lot of faith in Scott Parker. And honestly, I don't think Burnley might stick with him a lot for the season. And if they do, then it kind of might be over for them. That's what my feeling is. But we'll have to see. If either Scott Parker does well or Burnley sacks Scott Parker soon enough, then they could stay up, possibly. So next is, I'm going to put a little surprising. I'm going to put 18th as West Ham. West Ham, I think they just recently announced Kyle Walker-Peters, but to be honest, that's it. They signed some left back, I don't know either, but they've just lost Mohamed Kudus, which is one of their best playmakers, and I don't know what they're going to do next year. Honestly, I haven't seen that much from the West Ham team, so I'm going to put them 18th. This could definitely almost 100% backfire on me, but if I had to pick a Prem team to go down, I mean, between them, Wolves, and Brentford, I'll have to pick West Ham. So, that's my hot take. So, alright, next up is Sunderland. Sunderland's going to be our 17th place team, just barely staying up, as even though they lost Joe Bellingham, which is a pretty bad loss, they've actually managed to make up for it. They had so many signings, and they almost got Petrovic. Shows Sunderland are ready to spend, and I don't think the signings are done yet. So if Sunderland can keep up the track of signing, which I do think they will, they probably and may stay up. So that's why they're going to be my 17th place team. Next up, we're going to have 16th place, and I'm going to pick Wolves for this one. It's pretty tough race. If I had to pick a Premier League team to go down between West Ham and Wolves, I'll pick West Ham just because they lost more, but Wolves are also pretty bad in the mud. They lost Mateus Cunha, they lost Ait Nuri, and now the thing is that they haven't made that many signings. They signed recently a striker from Celta Vigo, which is good, but I don't know how they're going to fare. So, to be honest, unless they make better signings, I'm just going to put them here. So, for 15th place, we're going to do Brentford. So, honestly, I'm a little surprised to put Brentford so high on the table, because they lost Thomas Frank, the man keeping them, the man behind the myth. He was the one helping Brentford, and they never looked in danger of relegation, except for one season. But now it seems like, I don't know, Keith Andrews has no managerial experience, and we don't know how he's going to fare. Plus, they've lost a lot of players. They lost their captain, Norgard. They lost Brian Mbeumo, their main right winger, and they couldn't lose Johan Wissa as well. I mean, they made Jordan Henderson, which is good, but I don't know how they're going to do. So, right now, we're going to have to put them 15th. Next up, we have the mid-table clubs, which means 14th to 10th place. So these clubs are not in danger of relegation, but they're not really challenging for Europe that much. They're just trying to stay in the middle. So my 14th place club is Fulham. So Fulham haven't really done much this transfer window, and I've not really seen that much activity for them to prove that they could be higher on this list. So I'm gonna have to put them 14 for now. If they make a good signing, which I probably will make another prediction video at the end of the summer, they could go very much up. So we'll leave Fulham at 14 for that. 13th place, we're gonna put, what do you have? Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth makes the most sense. They've been ransacked. Even though I think Iriola is such a good manager, they have lost so much of the talent that made them go so high. They lost Hoyson. They lost, who else? They're going to lose Zabarny. They lost Kirkez. And then they luckily was able to keep Semenyo down to a contract. But I don't know how Bournemouth are going to fare, especially I haven't seen that many good signings, but they could be a Hoyson. So I think 13 makes the most sense so far. 12th place, we're going to put Nottingham Forest. Well, Nottingham Forest being very, 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 very mean to us. I'm a Tottenham fan. Morgan Gibbs White, please come. But yeah, other than that, Nottingham Forest, especially with being in the Europa League this year, it seems like they're going to have a trouble dealing with Premier League and European football, which a lot of mid-table clubs who get Europe do. So I think it makes the most sense for them 12th, especially they lost Morgan Gibbs White, they're losing Danilo, but they could make good signings. It seems like they're going after Johan Wissa, so we'll see how they do. So 12th I think seems like a satisfactory place. 11th place, we're going to put Everton, the Merseyside Blues. So new stadium for them, I think it's the Hill Dickinson Stadium, so that's pretty good. But honestly, it must suck to leave Goodison Park. And David Moyes, I think he's a great manager, so I think we can see them slightly improve. So maybe they got like 15th or 14th in the league. They'll go to 11th, especially in the new stadium. They'll take time to warm up, but we'll see how they do. 10th place has to go to the 10th place misters, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace in 10th place is a love story will never be known. But especially with European football, I don't think they'll do higher. But they do have a lot of talent, and especially if they manage to keep Warden, Guehi, Eze, they could manage this 10th place spot. And then next year, they could possibly challenge for Champions League or European football. So we'll see how they do, but especially with good signings. But the fact of being in Europe, Conference League helps, but that's why I'm saying some so high, but we'll see how they do. So I think 10th place is a great spot for Crystal Palace. Alright, next up is 9th place to 5th place. The low Champions League spots or European places. I mean, 9th isn't, so sorry. Yeah, so our 9th place team is Manchester United. You might be wondering, why did I put Manchester United so high on the list? Especially how buns they've been. However, I feel like Manchester United is definitely going to improve this year. I know, sad, but they made the signings of Cunha and Buemo, and those are pretty good attacking signings, and it looks like they're on the hunt to sign a striker. And we'll see how they do with that, but honestly, I think this Manchester United team might do better than ever. I mean, under this, the 9th is still like their second worst finishing in the Premier League, but honestly, it makes sense because it's still like a rework in progress for Ruben Amorim. And if he does worse, I have no idea what's going to happen to Manchester United. They're going to lose another manager, which is crazy. All right. 8th place, we're going to go with Brighton Hove Albion. So, Brighton somehow missed out on European football last year. So, and while that sucks, at least they can try and take this to go to another good Premier League finish. So, I think Hersler is a good manager, so we'll see how they do. But I think they'll just barely miss out on European football. 8th place could give it, but probably not. So, they'll just miss out, which will suck for them, but, you know, it's better than Manchester United, so you gotta take that. So 7th place, we're gonna do Newcastle. So Newcastle just recently made it to the Champions League this year. Good job. However, I don't think Newcastle has that good quality. They signed Alanga, which is pretty good. But the thing is that I don't think they have the quality to maintain Champions League and Premier League football. They could definitely prove me wrong here, but I'm gonna put them 7th because we don't know how they're gonna do. 6th place, I'm gonna do Aston Villa. I know, sucks to be missing a Champions League football again, but honestly, I just feel like the top 5 is better than Aston Villa's team, and especially if Aston Villa does lose Emi Martinez, Ollie Watkins, Jacob Ramsey. We don't know what's going to happen to them. So I think 6th place is like a safe spot for me. So that's where my spot is. Lastly, we have the Champions League spots. And we'll be deciding who the champion is. So the only team I think that's going to be in the top 5 that doesn't really going to compete for the title this year is going to be Tottenham. I know it sucks. But the thing is that while Tottenham is improving, the other 4 teams on this list are improving much faster than we are. And it's not looking good. So, even though we're signing Kudus, Morgan Gibbs White, we signed Sakai, and we'll see how we do this year. I think we could pull off like a 3rd place or a 4th place if we do really well. But we'll see how we do. So, I'll put us 5th for now. My 4th place team is going to be Chelsea FC. As much as it sucks to put a fellow Londoner above Tottenham, Chelsea have vastly improved this year, which kind of surprising to say, as they normally just buy random players and sell random players. But this year, they've actually got a decent, competent striker, Joao Pedro. They got a decent backup striker in Liam Delap. They got a great left winger in Bino Gittins. And now their attack just looks super strong, with Bino Gittins on the left, Joao Pedro up top, Pedro Neto on the right, and then we have Cole Palmer in the cam spot. This Chelsea attack is looking insane. And honestly, I don't know what's going to happen this year with Chelsea. They could compete for the title, but they could also just drop down and compete for the Conference League again. The chocolate trophy again. So we'll see, but I don't have that much high hopes for Chelsea, but 4th place seems pretty good. Next, 3rd place, and we gotta keep the tradition going. So Manchester City are gonna finish 3rd place again. So while Manchester City, which I don't think they'll do as badly as they would have done last year, they'll definitely still compete for the title. They don't seem like they're the best team in the world yet. Like in the Club World Cup, Al Hilal managed to beat them, showing that they don't really have full chemistry of their team. So I don't think they're going to do that well this year. And 3rd place seems like a pretty decent finish for my eyes. Especially while Manchester City are still rebuilding, getting rid of all the old pieces that were used in their treble winning season, like Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne. So it really depends. 2nd place, however, I think you know where this is going. It's the Arsenal. Okay, but honestly, it's funny to keep Arsenal in 2nd place again, but I really don't have any counter argument against it. Arsenal, while they're improving, their title challengers, who they're going to compete against, are improving so much more that it doesn't seem like they have a chance. Even though they bring in Gyökeres, they accidentally leaked that they're bringing Mosquera, they got Norgard, they got Zubamendi, they got Madueke, they got Kepa. Those are great signings, but is it enough to compete and overtop the champion? I don't think so. And even though I might have some bias against it, I don't think Arsenal are going to beat the champions this season. So they'll get a 2nd place. Again, what is it, 4 seasons in a row? Honestly, I take that. So our champion, as you probably already guessed, Liverpool. So Liverpool, I already made a short about this yesterday. You can check it in my shorts tab. But honestly, Liverpool, I'll just sum it up. Liverpool have been cooking this summer. They got Florian Wirtz. They replaced both their fullbacks with Milos Kerkez and Jeremy Frimpong. And it doesn't seem like they're stopping. They're getting Ekitike up front to replace Darwizzi. And honestly, I'm very scared for the Prem. And they could win the quadruple this year. But we'll just have to wait and see. So let me know in the comments, what are your Premier League predictions this season? And see you next time. Peace.